the strange thing about this is, like, the Democrat Congress people are actively preventing this from happening. And typically, you would think if you are in Congress, you are supposed to represent your constituency. And so if you would think that they're representing their constituency, then that would lead you to think that this is wildly unpopular with the left. Like the Democrat constituency doesn't want voter ID. But here's the strange thing. That's not correct. The vast majority of all Americans on both sides agree that we should have safe and secure elections. 83% favor requiring all voters to show a government-issued photo ID to vote, including 95% of Republicans and 71% of Democrats. That is still, 71 is low, in my opinion, too low, but it is still an overwhelming majority of Americans who say this. It's not controversial. Like, the Democrats that you're hearing in Congress that are acting as if it's controversial are just, it's all just theater. The world is but a stage. In real life, in regular America, it is not controversial to say we should make sure you are who you say you are before you participate in a very important election. And all of the elections are important. So you start thinking, like, if the vast majority of people agree, why are congressional Democrats attempting to stand in the way of the will of their own people? It doesn't make sense, except Orange Man bad. That's the only, that's the only sense that you can make of it. It's not good for the country. It's not good for the country that non-citizens or, just like, I don't know, someone down the street who says that they're your grandma and they're really not, but they show up and they're like, I promise I'll just sign that I am who I claim I am. Or you got like ballot boxes being stuffed like in the years of COVID. Like, there are so many things that could happen to change elections. I mean, look at the curious case of Joe Biden. Look at the curious case of Joe Biden. I'm sorry. That's right. Joe Biden was elected as the president of the United States of America in the safest and most secure election of all time with 81 million votes, more popular than Barack Obama. More popular than Barack Obama. So, of course, you have these congressional Democrats who are like, listen, there's no problem. Why? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. We already have the mechanisms in place to make sure that it's obviously just American citizens who are voting. We don't even give illegals any sort of, government ID. Wrong. Not true. Not true. What are you talking about? It's not an issue. It's never happened before. Illegals never have voted ever. Non-citizens never have voted in an election. That is a right-wing conspiracy theory nut job. Fill in the blank. Never happens. Okay, cool. Let's listen to Democrat Representative Lauren Underwood.
These guys say that the Save America Act is needed to prevent undocumented immigrants from voting, but y'all already know that that is not a thing.
A jury just convicted a woman in Massachusetts of voter fraud.
We're talking about a 59-year-old illegal immigrant who's been in the country for years, stole someone else's identity, and then voted in the 2024 presidential election. Take a look at this photo here. This is Lina Maria Arovio Hernandez. In this picture, you can see her, Martha, wearing that I voted sticker that we all get when we go to cast our ballots.
There you go, Stephen. There you go.
It's just ridiculous. There's just no word for it.
I mean, I just why do we have such retards in Congress? I don't understand it.
It really is smart. They're not. They just need them to vote. They need illegals to vote. It's their voter base.
Okay, that's fair. But why argue? You're sitting there staring into a camera or staring into another human being and claiming something that is not true. Like, I get it. I get the Great Replacement. It's not a theory. It's just happening. I understand that. And even if you were to argue that illegals are not voting and changing elections, well, illegals are being counted in the census that is then used to create these districts and decide how many each state has to represent them in Congress. So obviously it's affecting it either way. But to just sit there and claim that this doesn't happen is it's like just such a gaslighting, manipulative tactic. It's just so dirty. It's just so dirty, especially when there are places like New York that they have had to go to the New York Supreme Court to determine whether or not non-citizens can vote in local elections. So they haven't touched the federal yet, but they're slowly trying to create. There are multiple different places where they are actively trying to make sure that non-citizens can vote in local elections. And then they're going to sit there and tell you, actually, there's no case ever documented where an illegal has tried to vote, where a non-citizen has tried to vote. Like, open your eyes. Open your eyes. I remember when they said this and Steven Crowder did a whole big series where they literally went to places that didn't exist. They're like, voter fraud never happens. Every single vote in this country is the safest and most secure ever. It's never happened before. Anyone who says so is lying. Like, it's just enough already. Now, you've got several different retardation issues with the Democrats going on. You've got the people who claim this isn't actually a problem. There's no problem. You don't need to solve anything because it's not happening, which I just showed you. And then you've got people who are like, actually, let me explain to you why requiring a photo ID is somehow racist. Let's listen.
Look, as I hear my colleagues on the other side of the aisle, what I hear is the same racist, misogynistic trash, different decade. Republicans are invoking historical policies intended, let's be clear, to disenfranchise Americans, especially working people, women, students, indigenous people, and anyone who can't afford the burdens of a new bill. The Save America Act is yet another Republican attempt to intimidate and suppress the votes of anyone who threatens their extremist white supremacist agenda.
The soft bigotry of low expectations. How can you expect a black person or a Hispanic person to know how to get an ID? Also, I guess they're dirt poor, which you can get it for free. And they can't, how do you expect them to know, especially with the Hispanics who, they don't speak English, so they don't even know how to look up where the Department of Public Safety is to get there. I don't understand how it is racist. Me personally, I believe in everyone's ability to understand how to go get a photo ID, which you need for literally anything else. You want to open a bank account, you need a photo ID. You want to fly on an airplane, you need a photo ID. You want to drive in a car, you need a photo ID. You want a credit card, you need a photo ID. There are almost every instance where you do something very important, you need a photo ID. I don't understand how they're not understanding that this is not is it racist to you know what? I see a lot of minorities flying. How are they doing that? How are they doing that? Now, the illegals, they don't actually need ID, conveniently enough. But the legal citizens, they've all managed to get a photo ID. How did that possibly happen if it's racist to expect those dumb black people to know how to go get a photo ID? It's just it's such an insanely, inherently racist thing to suggest. It's almost unbelievable. Now, I want to play Scott Jennings, who I was just telling my producer earlier, I'm like, man, Scott Jennings has the coolest job. He just gets to sit there next to the dummies that they put on CNN and just listen, just take it all in. And then just so easily be like, I'm just going to poke holes in everything you just said because you're so ridiculously idiotic. You can't seem to understand that this is easily disproven. And here's some of that.
What voting rights is he taking away from black voters? Oh, if we look at
the SAVE Act?
The SAVE Act, that's exactly what we're talking about. That is actually going to continue to disenfranchise overwhelmingly a lot of people of color. There are so many civil rights organizations that have run the data. If we look at the way that it is going to disenfranchise black voters, it's the same reason why Chuck Schumer called it Jim Crow 2.0. So this is the same president. If we want to continue...
You haven't said how yet.
I am talking about it. It's the way that you're putting new poll taxes on this when you're making people have...
How?
That's what we can call them now. It's kind of an idiom, right? If you want to say that people have to prove that they are citizens, that they have to prove with a voter ID, the reality is you're layering what is a constitutional right for the American people and making it harder for people to vote in this country, and it's going to disenfranchise black voters.
Concern you that you're making all these claims, you've yet to lay out how it's hurting anyone, but 76% of black voters think we should show an ID to vote, 80% of Hispanic voters, 83% of the American people. Are you saying that black voters are too dumb to know what's good for them?
Yes, actually, I guess that is what she's saying. I mean, I saw with my own two eyeballs when I went several years ago into Michigan, and I was like in Detroit, and I was interviewing people, many of whom were black. And I asked them if they thought that we should have to have a photo ID in order to vote. And they were all like, yes. Yeah, duh, I do. Of course. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I think the only person who said no, or at least was like refused to participate, was this dumb liberal white woman who demanded to know who I was with, what organization I was with before she answered. And then it was like, oh, I'm not talking to you because you're a conservative. Huh. Other than that, everyone else, I mean, they were overwhelmingly, like every single black person that I talked to looked at me as if I was dumb to even suggest otherwise. They're like, yeah, duh. Of course we need photo ID to vote. I got to use it for everything else. Why not that? We're literally electing the people to run our entire country. Of course, we should be making sure and validating that you are who you say you are before you cast the vote. Duh. Now, it wasn't just me. Ami Horowitz, he was on the show a long time ago. He actually asked black people, like, hey, you got ID? Do you know how to get one? Because I am reliably informed that you're too stupid to understand how to do it. So what do you say? What say you? Here's some of that.
Do you have ID normally? You carry ID around?
Yes, I have state ID.
Do you carry ID?
Yes, I do.
Do you know any black person who doesn't carry ID?
No. Everyone that I know has an ID. Why would they think we don't have ID? That's a lie. Why would they say that?
Do you have ID?
Yes.
Because I have my ID and my friends have their ID, so like we know what we need to carry around.
Yeah, everybody that I know have ID. Like, that's one of the things you need to walk around with New York with, ID.
Do you know any black adult who does not have ID?
No, I don't.
Is it a weird thing to even say that?
Yes, it is.
What is this, some type of trick candy cameras?
I know, right? That's the only thing I brought with me.
Those are legit IDs. I heard a lot also that black people can't figure out how to get to the DMV.
Really?
What does that say to you?
I know it's on 25th Street.
Do you know where the DMV is around you?
It's on 125th Street and 3rd Avenue, I believe.
You know how to get there?
Yeah.
Did you have a problem getting there if you had to get there?
No.
There you go. Right out of the horse's mouth. Oh, but they hadn't heard the blowhard on CNN lecture them about how actually they are too stupid. Maybe they forgot where the DMV is. Maybe they forgot where to go. And remember, we heard from Joe Biden himself during his debates before he was elected president in the safest and most secure election of all time. We heard from him that black people were actually too dumb to open up a computer and search anything. In that instance, it was the vaccine. Like they couldn't understand how to open up their computer if they even had a computer and like type in, where is the DMV? They're too stupid, apparently, according to the Democrats. If you like this clip and you want to see the full episode, click here. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, come on, you know you do. Click here.